Hey, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast, the second one of today. I'm very excited to bring my next guest in. Now, she is podcast family. It's her second time on the show, returning guest. But before I bring her on, hit my music. Let's go. Let's get it. All right, welcome to another great episode of the Real Deal Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Courtney Harden. Glad to be back once again with a new and exciting episode. This is the second one of the day. Like I said, I got a great returning guest coming on in a few. But before I bring her on, you can follow the show again on all the podcast platforms, whether it is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, BS3 Network, BS3TVLive.com, BS3 Network, Roku channel as well. And you can follow the show on all the social media platforms, which I am on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky. I'm on all those platforms. But you can usually Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook and LinkedIn are my major ones. So my main ones. So you can follow me there at Get the Real Deal on all those platforms. So, all right, let me bring in my returning guest. I'm very excited to catch up with her. It's been a while. I think we did a show. I think the first time we did a show it's been a minute. So I think it was the beginning of, might have been last year, actually. I think so. It was either last year or beginning of this year. Yeah, it was nope. It was the beginning. It was March of this year. So looking forward to catching up with her and everything too. And she does a lot in the industry when it comes to social media and media. She's a podcast host, Passion Projects, which she has relaunched and brought it back. And doing great things. So check that out. Follow it on YouTube and all the platforms as well. So Payal Doshi, welcome back to the show. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm
Yeah.
back. I love it.
Yes, you are back, podcast family, back on the show. It's for the second time. As I said, you did the first show back in March, so it's good to catch up and see what you've been up
Mhm.
to. You said Passion Projects is doing tremendous as well. So again, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. And again, looking forward to our next conversation.
Same. Yeah, I'm in season 3 now of Passion Projects.
Yeah.
Loved bringing it back and love the stories I'm able to tell, and I'm sure we'll get more into it too.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely dive more into passion projects and
Mhm.
everything too. So, but how's everything going with you? We were talking a little off camera about just the job industry and everything too. So I know you're looking on that front as well. But
Yeah.
it's this industry, as we talked about with AI and taking over when it comes to sports and media and entertainment and social media and things like that. But how's everything else going with you and the family as well?
Yeah, things are good. I just got back from a trip to Toronto, saw the
Mhm.
fam,
Yeah.
spent some Thanksgiving time with them. Unfortunately, got really sick, but
Mm.
better on the
Yes.
mends. It
Yeah.
doesn't help that it's cold out there too, but
Yes.
digress.
For sure. It is cold. It's very cold. And I know you're in Canada. And but it's cold here in the States, here in Philly. It's just
Oh
like
yes.
the temperature just dropped. But yeah, it's very cold for sure. But I'm glad that you're feeling a little bit better. As you said, we were trying to do this a couple weeks ago, but it was just he said life's but they said the holiday was here and then you got yes, you got sick and everything too, but I'm glad we were able to do this again.
Me too. I know. I hope you had a good holiday as well.
I did. Yes, I really did. It was relaxing in a way. Had some days off from work
Nice.
and everything too. But yeah, it's been a really good time. I got some more days off coming up, so looking forward to that. But yeah, but let's get into what you said, what you've been what you've been up to over these past 7 8 months this year as well. So how's everything going? You said looking for the with the job market and things like that. But how's everything else on that front as well, and what you're looking for your next journey?
Yeah, I think that looking to do more within the social media space, whether that be in sports, entertainment. I mean, I love that. That's like something I'm fond of doing that kind of pretty much my entire career. And then really doing more within the podcast space. I
Yeah,
really am trying to evolve passion projects a little bit more as well. Just tell inspiring stories and really hope that resonates with the audience that I'm telling these stories to, and just widening that community and really trying to give back. And I think that this second half of the year has been a lot about finding that purpose and like
yeah,
developing that and like driving that forward and really creating a space that allows people to like-minded people to really connect and communicate and hopefully tell their stories as well.
yeah. And that's what Passion Project is. I remember when we connected earlier this year, and you talked about uh, sharing stories of people turning what they love into what they do. The name of the name of your podcast, Passion Project. So having a passion for what they do, and I'm so excited and glad that you relaunched it. Or going back into it, and really you've had a lot of great guests on the show recently, just in general over the past few months. I've been listening, and you had someone just recently that we both on Anka Ainka. Yes, yes,
Oh
yes. You just had Ainka Jess on the show, and I've had her on for she's for sports as well. Yeah, talk about who you like, who you have on the show, and things like that. You said just having people share their stories.
yeah, she's fantastic.
Yeah, she is.
Love what she is doing with the community, and she's like really trying to make a space for women in sports.
Hmm.
And just the way that she's able to tell those stories, and also just her business and how she's gone about creating space in a market that like was is saturated in businesses, but this there was a niche, there was a call for you know having a space for women and talking about women in sports and how that's evolved. And so she has been it's such a fantastic interview. I feel like she shares so much about her journey in the communications and media industry as well, and
Yes.
how she's grown from that too. Some of my past guests also have been Kristen Ledlow, longtime broadcaster
Yeah.
for TNT and NBA TV, and how she's pivoted more into entrepreneurship as well, her positionless line. And she's a content creator herself as well. And like she has her own gym, and this gym is for women, and that space that it's like a women's only gym to feel comfortable in your own skin as well. Uh,
Mm.
I've had a local chiropractor on as well, just talking about her passion for why she went into that field. I love to start every conversation with really understanding what was their passion and why they decided to go into that lane or that specific career field that they wanted. One of the cool ones was behind the broadcast, and
Hmm.
it was a compelling interview in the sense that this guy Parker had a vision for this was during the pandemic. It was supposed to be called No Fans, and then as fans started to come into the arenas, it was just like, okay, well, I want to showcase the people behind the scenes that don't get that media attention, and it's the spotlight that they deserve, right? So it's not the
Yeah.
broadcasters in front of the camera, but it's the editors. It's about everyone else. And like he's made that into his own business. He has students learning about behind the broadcast, what it takes to, the tutorials that he has, the podcast that he does.
Yeah.
And so for them to really understand, okay, this is a path that you can take. And here's all of the learnings that we found and all of the people who are in the industry who have done it. And here's how you can take steps in the right direction to get to where you want to go to. So, those are some of the many interviews I have. I have some still some exciting ones coming up in the near future as well. So look out for those as well. I try to post them weekly too, and hopefully provide a little inspiration.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then I think a lot of the ones you've had, the ones you had, and the conversations you had, I can Jess, I've had her on a couple times and loved that how much her story and what she's doing and really promoting women's sports and media in general, just to see that it keep evolving and keep and you said yeah, with your platform giving those that people the space to talk about it and as yourself and it just to keep evolving in this industry. I love hearing that and love seeing conversations about that and just again sharing their stories and being able to resonate on some of the things they go through and things like that. I think it's very important, and they're able to share that to the people because you never know, one person could listen to someone's story and say, man, that's a great opportunity. I can maybe reach out to them as well, get
Yeah.
advice, or have a passion. You said they have a passion to do what they do and able to present that and help others.
And hopefully it's relatable, right?
And
And
relatable. Yes, absolutely.
if someone's going through something and maybe this is a call to be like, hey, you're here, you're listening, you're at the right place. Here's how maybe this can steer you in the direction you
Mhm.
want to go into. So it's just, I really am a strong believer that other people's stories can somehow resonate with you too. There might be something that aligns or something that is a challenge for you that you
Yes.
want to overtake or you want to do better in. And here's how you can go about that. Everyone has their own path. And so it's nice to hear the path that they've gone on and how it is different from the path that you've been on, right? And
Yeah.
the similarities and the inspiration that they can provide you and the advice that they have as well. I think that is so profound and so huge too.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yes. And you had Eric Smith on
Yeah,
maybe a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, a couple weeks ago,
I
and
have to hear. Yep,
yeah,
we the
yeah.
Raptors.
Yeah, yeah. So, and yes, and again, he's the radio voice and co-author of "We the Raptors." Shares their stories and shaped Toronto's basketball journey. And I remember when uh, our last podcast episode, you talked about your love for the Raptors and things like that. And I'm sure just to have someone who's been the voice for that long period of time and sharing the stories. He said 30 years of the heart, grit, and growth of the Raptors. I'm sure that was an episode that you really enjoyed having a sit down with Eric Smith
I had a chance to work with him
and work with him. Yeah.
way back in the day when I used to work at the Fan 590, and it's so interesting too, right? Because when you know the background of this team and then you're reading about the players, they're not the star players, but they're the role players, the ones that
Mm-hmm.
really made an impact on the city, on the community. It's so nice to hear that. But the underlining message I felt with this book was each and every player loved their time in Toronto and what they were able to give back to the community as well. You hear from Amir Johnson, and I remember he used to have these Roll with Amir events, and he would take a bunch of fans out to dinner and, just kind of talk to them about how it is like playing in Toronto and everything else underlining with that. You hear stories of Jerome Williams who took his truck and all the way from Detroit all the way down to Toronto, knowing that he was going to be traded, and just like was there, the nitty gritty, the
Yeah.
toughness, everything that he presents brought to the table. And so they're really interesting stories. Like some stories I didn't know everything that Chris Childs went through. He didn't really play too long with as the Raptors, but
Mhm.
all the alcohol and the drugs, and then how he changed his life,
Yeah.
and what Toronto meant to him. And so really interesting stories from all of these players that you remember. I recollect, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember this time. It's like flashbacks to moments and where I was, when I was growing up, and how much, obviously, with the love I have for them. So that that is definitely that was an exciting time. I also actually have a guest who covered the Blue Jays and their World Series run, and
Oh,
that was
yes.
just devastating.
Yes, yes. I did when we were setting up the show, and it was during the time when I was asking you. I said I know that journey as you as fan with with the Blue Jays, the World Series, how it ended. I mean, tremendous year. I mean, such a great year for them. Yes, it didn't end like how they wanted it to end. But and I knew it was just the timing of you was going through that roller coaster of emotions for that as well. So, but yeah, we got to talk about that magic season with the Blue Jays though as well. But he said you got someone coming on from the
Yeah.
Blue Jays. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, let's transition into, we got to talk Raptors having a great year, but let's talk Blue Jays as well. Ending their magical season dramatic fashion against the Dodgers, Game 7. I mean, this World Series had everything in it. It had,
Yeah,
had
everything.
the two most important words in sports, Game 7, which it had. It had so many lead changes. It had emotion. It had big plays. It had uh, everything you would want from a 7 game series in any sport as well. He said Toronto fell just short. I mean, literally just short of winning that World Series. And for a lot, they probably should have won it. But talk about that season, being being in that moments, in those moments. Talk about that season for you, what it meant to you, just to be a fan and be a part of that.
Yeah, I don't know if people know this, but baseball was my first love. And
Mhm.
after the 94 season, when they had the lockout, I just never really recuperated, I guess, from that. And like kind
Yeah.
of basketball came into the picture, and that was it for me.
Yep.
But this team, I kid you not, it like took me back to that love that I had. They seemed to be just a team that wanted to play for one another and
Hmm.
were dedicated to their craft. And they would go on these 10-game win streaks during the season, and everyone was just thought it wasn't making too much out of it. But like when they were leading the league, and when they beat out the Yankees in the
Yeah.
first round, it was just like, let's go. Like, this is here for the taking. I remember, I think it was just shortly after Vladdy had signed his 14-year deal, he was just like, we're going to the World Series. And like that, this was the year that they did that. And they had so many opportunities to win, but it
Yeah.
just didn't work out. I mean, obviously the team is just like, the better team won, or like, but I just, it was just something about this team, like, these role players, like you were saying, like a lot of people compare Ernie Clement to Jamal Shed, and just the way that they operate together. So like, there's all these similarities between the Raptors and this 2025 Blue Jays team too. Um, the starting pitching was like you savage. Like,
Yeah.
can you believe this guy coming up from the minors to like just his all like throughout this whole year, like where he like cemented his starting role in against the Yankees, and like what a performance he put on. It was unreal, amazing.
Yeah. So amazing. I mean, it was such an amazing season. Just watching it, and I'm not, I watch baseball, but not like it's my favorite. It's not my favorite sport, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do enjoy when the playoffs come. I watch a lot of playoffs, just in general. But just to see when I saw the Blue Jays beat out the Yankees, and then they beat the Mariners, and then they get to the World Series to play the Dodgers, the defending World Series champions, and take them to the brink. Was up in the series, all the extra inning games as well. Like I said, that entire World Series was tremendous to see, and I'm thinking, man, this was really good. Yeah, Dodgers Yankees, big markets last season, great. It was great. I mean, that's but the way Toronto came together, as you said, they talked about the chemistry, and you see a team when they come together and they root for each other, and they bring it all together. You saw that, and you just was rooting for them to say, okay, they're going to beat the big bad Dodgers, and everything too, and almost pulled it off. And like
yeah. I
again,
know, right?
probably should have, but that was that was a tremendous World Series. They said it had everything that you could ask for when it comes to a championship series, and this, yeah. So I mean, like I said, I know Toronto fans are devastated, heartbroken. You guys were the way it ended, but definitely, I'm sure you're definitely proud of that. The way the team just continued to they kept pushing forward, they kept persevering, and um and they made the World Series, and they made it into a series, for sure.
I think that what it says is like it just really brought the community together. It brought like the
Yep.
nation together, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now, no, like knowing that we only have the one team, that's what makes it special too. Because
Mm-hmm.
I remember just like the Raptors run, everyone would gather around their TVs as
Yeah.
a family, and it would be like the thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was what everyone was doing. So there was this void when it ended. But I had a couple of friends who were at Game 7 who were telling me, you could see the cries, like people like were literally crying in the stands, and it
Yeah.
was just silence, right? Like it was a shock. Uh, Everyone was in shock. I mean,
Yeah.
I kid you not, I had the champagne in the eighth inning in the freezer. Like, okay, we got this on lock. Oh
Yeah.
no, never,
Right.
never, never think too soon because you always need to be there till the finish to know
Yep.
what
Yep.
what could happen.
Anything can happen. And the way that series was going, anything can happen. It was never over. Like I was watching it, and I'll turn, and then I come back, and it's like, oh, the Raptors are up now, or the Blue Jays are up now.
Yeah.
And then I turn back, and it's like, wait, okay, it's tied. Like what? Like okay, this is interesting. So yeah, it was. Yeah, and Game 7 was just tremendous in itself. But yeah, I mean, but again, you as a fan, you have to be even like I said, didn't win, but I have to be very proud of
Oh
how,
yeah.
as you said, it kind of resonated with the Raptors when they won the championship, with Kawhi Leonard, that whole thing. And again, when I had my last guest on, we were talking about, when you're a big fan of a team and they bring it all together. I did this last year with the Eagles, this last season,
Yeah.
with the Eagles, living here in the city, being a fan, and they went on their Super Bowl run and beating the Chiefs. The Chiefs, who were staple team in the Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes and winning that, when the Eagles beat them the way they did. The city comes together. It's a tremendous feeling.
Were you there? Were you like part of the parade? Did you go
Yes,
and
yes,
see?
I went to the parade. Yes, went to the
Yeah.
parade. I went to when the Eagles won the first one in 2017. Was
Yeah.
part of that, and then this one too. Yes, went to both parades. It
That's
was in the middle
awesome.
of that. Just
Yeah, it must have been something, right? Just to
oh,
like witness it and
yes, being there and witnessing it, and being with the fans, and fans are just, I mean, overly excited, and just hearing, people hugging each other and celebrating, and it's pandemonium. It is
yeah,
for sure, and from when the first one and even this last one. some differences, but it's still it brought a lot of people together, and just when being part of that, I would never probably have that type of that feeling was great. It was tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like being a fan, you're so loyal to your team, right? So you
Hmm.
ride
Yeah.
these highs and lows with the
Yes.
team.
Yes. Hmm.
So, if to your point, when the Jays lost, like, I felt like not only the city down, but I felt my emotions, like, I
Yeah.
was just like, no one could like, if you echoed the word Blue Jays to me, like, I felt like I was gonna sob because it was just
Yeah. Yeah.
such like, the impact of the way it ended, it took a long time to, like, really register, and to, like,
Yep.
be at a point where you can really talk about it now, so,
Yeah, and that's why I
yes,
said I wanted to give some time because
I
I totally
appreciate that.
understand. I totally understand it. We you said we get so caught up and wrapped up
Yeah,
into the emotions of a season with our teams, and again, it goes back when the Eagles lost that Super Bowl to Kansas City a couple of years ago, where they were again just like the Blue Jays were in the driver's seat to win that game, and they lost on a dramatic. They lost by a field goal, and then but they came back 2 years later and took care of business. But just again, getting over that season, that disappointment when you think, man, they should have won. They should have won. And so yeah, I totally get that.
exactly. Yeah,
The
I'm with
highs and
you.
lows, the highs and lows of us as our fandom
Yeah,
of that.
exactly what it is.
Yep, exactly. So, all right, but let's talk about the Toronto Raptors moving forward of this year. Um, I, I don't know. The expectations for the Raptors heading into the season wasn't high, but the way they're playing right now, it gotta be. I don't know about a surprise, but uh, they're playing some really good basketball and right now. And but what do you think of the Raptors season so far?
Yeah, Courtney, they're surprising a lot of
Hmm.
teams,
Yeah. Yes.
especially getting attention here in the States. Uh, I I thought this season they were gonna be a team that was gonna be good and that was gonna hover maybe between the 6 seed or, 8 between 8 to 6, but I love that they're second right now in the East,
Yes.
uh, right behind the Pistons. But the way that they're playing out there, the what we're seeing, unfortunately, RJ Barrett went down with injury and he was like playing so well, but like
Hmm.
you're seeing Scotty Barnes, the defensive player of the month and the impact that in his fifth year he's been able to do for the Raptors on both ends of the court
Yeah.
is unreal. Like he just the other day, they against the Blazers, he had that game winning block, if you will, as seconds left on the clock. And he's been able to impact games defensively, which is huge. And then you have Brendan Ingram, who, of course, we didn't see it all last season,
Yep.
but he's showing signs of who he was in New Orleans, but stepping his game up to another level as well. And just a nucleus of the players that they have around them as well. The rookie, Colin Murray Boyle, he
Hmm.
has been so impressive around the basket. Um, he's the other stat the other day was he was sixth when it came to rebounds amongst rookies. And so the way that they're playing both offensively and defensively, like first and fast break points, they are a team that is, watch out. What like we as I like to say we, I guess.
I'm
um,
part of it. Yes, you're a fan. Yes, you're we. Yeah, I say
the
that all the time.
the 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 NBA Cup, on December 9th, facing off against the Knicks.
Yep.
Um, they just came off the weekend where they lost two, but on a 5-game homestand right now, there things. But okay, the teams that they were playing were majority of them were under 500 teams. So we're gonna see a lot of what this team is made of with some heavy competition with the Lakers
Yes.
tonight, and then uh, Charlotte and the Raptors on Friday. It's always an interesting game between those.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things face out there. But, winning that 9-game win streak that they went on, they haven't done that since like 2020. So
Yeah. Yes.
it's
Yeah.
it's great to see them coming together. We know what last season brought, but there's something that has changed, and we're seeing it come to fruition.
Yeah, I kind of hope that they're able to continue with this, with the how they're playing. They're playing very well
Yeah.
right now. You said they had a 9-game win streak, hasn't done that, and haven't done that. You said in like 5 years, and as well. So yes, we get to see. I know it's early in the season. It's only 20 games in, 20 plus games in, but I'm surprised of how good, and they didn't start well either in the beginning of the year, but then they seem like they're putting the pieces together. Yes, the RJ Barrett injury had will sting enough, because like I said, his all around play has been very crucial to them as well. But Brandon Ingram, if he can stay healthy, if these guys can stay healthy and continue to keep improving, they could be a top 5, top 6 in the East, continue to be that. But you're right. I think in the beginning of the year, when I did my prediction, I thought they were going to be in that bubble, that playoff bubble, seventh,
Mhm.
eighth, maybe to get in the play in, just because of the East. At least in the East, there was teams above them. But as of right now, as it stands, they're second behind Detroit, and uh, they're playing well, and you can't. I mean, people can't deny it. So it's now, is this a real thing? As you said,
Mhm.
what they're made of. Can they continue to sustain winning like the way they've been playing?
Yeah, I really strongly believe I don't feel that they're a playing team. I think that they are going to be
A playoff
locking in a
team.
playoff spot,
Hmm.
which is huge because something I haven't done in a while. And just the way that there's been comparisons of the Raptors 2019 bench and the bench mob that they
Mm,
had been to what the bench is now, with you have Jamal Shed coming off the bench, and Sandro, and what he brings to the table as well. Those deflections and like just his presence in the paint, I think is so important, as a good backup to Jakob as well. So
yes.
you're seeing a lot of changes, but to your point, early in the season, I feel like they were pressing a lot more, and it's not
Yes.
something that they're
Yeah.
used to doing too. And I think that kind of hurt them, but they've really evolved since then, and they're really finding who they are and finding their identity.
Yeah, they're making great progress this season, and as long as do we know how long RJ Barrett's going to be out? Did they say?
He was going to be reevaluated. I believe he should be reevaluated this week. So we'll see how things go with that. But
Yeah.
it's great to see that they are able to kind of play well without him as well.
Yeah.
His presence is definitely missed, but just what they can do to sustain it well until he comes back is great too.
Yeah, yep. I was just looking. This was a week ago. Revealed no structural damage, which was
Yeah,
great for it to his
great.
knee.
Yeah.
He's been diagnosed with a sprain and be reevaluated, so probably a couple of weeks. But they just have to. Again, he brings. He said he's not leading and he's not leading them in any statistical category, but he's averaging 19 points, 5 boards, and 4 assists. Is shooting 50%. So he's playing actually. Um, he's playing well, and then and with him in there with his defense and able to some of the leadership skills that he has, it does help. But they'll have to continue to just to keep playing well. The coach has got them playing well. So yeah, they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a team. I think even moving forward, like you said, I think they're going to be more than a playing team as it could be, like I said, top 5, top 6 seed if they
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to continue to keep playing the way they are. So they are. There could be some comparisons to that 2019 Toronto team, which was again that's championship team. So that's
Yeah, right.
yeah. So hey, Toronto is the Blue Jays, and then now the Raptors. So You just never know.
Exactly. Here they come. Here
Here
they
they
come.
come.
Watch out, everybody.
Yeah, watch out for them as well. So yeah, and then now I want to talk about the Toronto Temple. Yeah, I saw you got the shirt on and coming up this next season, new team, and been seeing a lot of good things. They just got their coach, Sandy Brondello from the Liberty. I mean, talk about that, having an opportunity to get a championship coach now. Soon as she got let go by the Liberty, which I still think is a mistake that the Liberty let her go. Um, but I said it as soon as it happens, like, oh, Toronto could that would be the perfect fit. You get a veteran coach, championship coach to be able to for the expansion team. But talk about the excitement of the Toronto Temple and now being led by Sandy Brondello for this upcoming season.
So excited. I
Mm-hmm.
can't wait for them to get some players as well. But this is truly going to be Canada's team. You know, you've had the Jays and the Expos, you have the Grizzlies and the Raptors, but this is truly Canada's team.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about this is that when they're going to be playing, they're going to be going coast to coast across Canada. They'll be in Vancouver. They'll be, I'm not sure, I think in Montreal, maybe. But they are, the excitement is unreal. There's, I think, waitlist now for season tickets. And the I love it for the women too. There's just so much hype around,
Yes.
the there were so many preseason games that were played in Canada during the WNBA that were sold out in the regular season. And there are some Canadians that are in the WNBA. So it's really cool to see what is going to be held at the expansion draft. And the coach, she's never missed the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then just the excitement around everyone who's on board with as part of the organization. You have Lily Singh, you have Serena Williams. Like that's some really exciting cast of characters, to be part of as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for Toronto because it is a sports city, and it's one of those things where, as you said, the past couple of years, or at least I think it was last year, 2 years ago, when they had the preseason WNBA game and it sold out quickly.
Yeah.
So it was only a matter of time for when the WNBA was looking for expansion teams to what what cities could get it, and it was like Toronto for sure. It would sell out. We just started with the Golden State Valkyries selling out every single game. So I can see Toronto doing it. I know Portland's getting their team now. Philly's coming up in the next 2030, I believe. So the next 4 years, that's going to be. I mean, Philadelphia's been craving for a WNBA team
Right.
as well. So now they get an
Portland's
opportunity.
another one.
Yeah, Cleveland, and yeah. So there's there's opportunities for expansion, and I hope now that the WNBA, I know they're going through
Yes.
negotiations and things like that. So with that coming up, and hopefully they can get that settled, and then Toronto will be able to handle their get there with the business and getting ready for the expansion draft and the draft in itself, and see how they build their team. And again, with Sandy Brondello being the coach and now the leader of this team, it is a perfect fit. She's able to, like I say, bring her championship experience as well. Like I said, she just won the championship 2 seasons ago. So with the Liberty. So
Awesome. Yeah.
I know. So that I know now that's even generating even more excitement for Toronto as well. So I'm looking forward to see how this upcoming season how it begins. And the Golden State, their first year, they make the playoffs. So if
Yeah.
Toronto, like I said, they build it from the ground up, and if they're able to build and the right chemistry, and then they get the right players, and able to see how that goes.
It's I love how that this, I feel, is like kind of the golden age of women's sports too, right? Like there's
Yes,
been such a
absolutely.
spotlight now upon them, and so to see what is happening, it's great to see the numbers in TV ratings and everything going up. I think
Yeah.
that like it plays a big factor in what we're witnessing, and just the evolution of it too. Like even with the women's hockey league and the soccer leagues out there as
Yes.
well, big impact.
Yeah, very big impact. You're right. I think you hit around the head with um the impact of women's sports and the growth. It continues to keep growing. That's why, with the WNBA and their negotiations, they're seeing the growth, and they just want to be they deservedly want to be paid, and revenue share and all this,
Mhm.
and I hope they're able to negotiate and get a deal done, a proper deal, get it done, so now we can, as fans, can continue to see the growth of it. Women's sports in general, not just the W, but just the women's growth in general, because you do have other leagues that are coming out. Project B's coming up, and Unrivaled. But you said
Mhm.
soccer and hockey, and women's golf is yes, it's just it's great to see the women's sports keep evolving and keep growing, and um and highlight it the way it should have already been, but we're seeing it definitely in the forefront.
Agreed. Yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
it's great to see.
Yeah, great to see you, sir, for sure. All right, just had one more before I let you go. I love just conversating this. We could conversate for hours, but
I
I
know.
know we have different things to do and everything too. But you talk about, like you said, you've had a lot of great guests on your show, and you got some others coming up. Uh, Dream guests who you would love to have on the podcast.
Michelle Obama.
Yeah, not without hesitation.
I have been listening to IMO, and it's
Yeah,
so funny. I just was doing Spotify Unwrapped yesterday, and it was like the number one podcast I've been listening to.
yeah.
And I have just so many questions and like just conversations I would love to have with her. But hands down, putting on the vision board, she
Okay.
is the guest that I want to have on the pod.
All right, that is a dream guest, and that would be a great guest, as you said. Now she's doing some podcasting, great podcast, by the way, and she's doing just a tremendous, I mean, first lady and everything too, but
Yeah.
former first lady, and she would be like, like stories on top of stories, to hear what she would say from the White
Right?
House to do what she's doing now, and to all the things she represents and things like that. I'm sure that would be a great podcast, a guest to have for
That would,
sure.
yeah, I'm like manifesting it.
Yeah, yeah. You never know. You
Right?
never know. You don't.
You
You
just
really
never
don't know.
know.
You never know. It
Exactly.
doesn't hurt to you said put that on your vision board, and next thing you
And if
know,
she's
you
listening
have
right
it.
now,
She can relive. You're listening. Then yes, put it out there for sure. That would be great. I would love to have her on too. I would have so many
right?
things
Yes.
just to
We
even
can
get
do a collab.
15. Yeah, do a collab. Do it in 15, 20 minutes.
Just
Just to
call
pick
me.
her brain on it. Yeah, we don't need a whole. I mean, it'd be great to have a couple hours, but
Yeah, exactly.
but 15, 20 minutes of her just telling a couple stories and things like that. Yeah, that'd be tremendous. So, but Powell, it has been a great thank you again. Great time to have you on, and thank you again for doing this. I really appreciate the connection, and I'm glad we got a good chance to connect and being able to do this as well. Again, really appreciate what you're doing in this, in the industry, and love the podcast, love following your journey, and who you have. I'm always looking to see, okay, who she got next on. I love that anyway with podcasts, like the guest and
Yeah.
everything too. We have a couple different, like we have some of the same guests, and so I love to hear their stories and what you're sharing with the Passion Project podcast. So I can't thank you enough for your time doing this, and the conversation that we've had over this past year. So again, thank you. But let everyone know first and foremost where they can follow you, reach out to you, follow the podcast, and things you got coming up.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you first off so much for having me on. I love our conversations, and I'm so happy that we had a chance to do this again as well.
Thank you.
And you can follow Passion Project with Pyle on Instagram, and it's Passion Projects with Pyle on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And you can find me on YouTube, Payal Doshi, and that's where you can also follow Passion Projects. And I am Payal Doshi TV on all my social platforms as well.
So Payal Doshi TV,
Follow, subscribe, like,
subscribe, like
comment,
all that, all
all
those
the good
things.
stuff.
Yes, like, subscribe, follow, share,
Yes,
comment, and as well, because it goes a long way.
it does.
What we do on from the podcast as well. We enjoy all of our listeners, and we appreciate it. And again, sharing it and all those things. They said you never know. Michelle Obama could be watching. You share it, and she could be watching and listening, and you share it. And we're on YouTube just like she is. So you just
Yeah.
never know. But yeah. But again, I thank you again. I really appreciate the time, and I'll have this shared as well and edited some clips probably by later today or tomorrow as well. But I
Thank
appreciate
you.
the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate your time. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. You enjoy it, and happy holidays to you as
You
well.
too.
Thank you.